Alright, so to create this Chroma Key effect, first thing we did was we copied our video clip, our recording, into the D drive folder, and then we're going to open Premiere and we will make a new project. Right? So let's see if we can maximize this. Alright, so new project, and I would call it About Me. And where are we going to browse that location to?
To our D drive.
To our D drive, right, to that folder we just created called About Me, right? That way it puts everything in there, your auto-save files and all that good stuff. Alright, so we press OK. And, alright, yeah, I'll save over it. Alright, so it's creating our file here. Alright. So, bless you. What's the first thing we do? What do we need to do to get that clip in here to start working with it?
Import it.
Import it, right? So we can right click down here or the file menu, select import. We're going to go to that location. Alright, so we're going to import that clip that we just saved over there. So, oh. And what would we do next? What do we usually do?
We would click it and then drag it over to a timeline.
Well, probably have some extra stuff at the beginning or the end, possibly. Check it to see if you need to make an in or an out point, right? I don't remember how I recorded for you all, but, you know, for mine, there's some extra stuff at the beginning or the end, all right? So we would want to mark the in or the out point on that if need be, right? So I think on this particular video, I only have to do an out point. It looks like, no, I do have some stuff, right? So I wouldn't want to see this in the final, me walking up to the camera and pressing record. So right about there for me, I'm going to do my in point. Then I'm going to move it over, see where it's ending, and we'll say that's our out point. Alright, so remember, we're masking off any stuff at the beginning and the end that we don't want in our final production. Then we'll drag it to our timeline. So next, probably actually before we place our picture, we probably should crop this, right? We have all the stuff in the studio, and to make our keying a little bit easier. So how do we crop this image, Michael?
You go under the effects panel.
Yep.
And then you type in the search bar once it loads crop.
Okay.
And then you would locate it and
Right.
drag it over to your clip in a timeline.
Okay.
And then between scale and proportions, you would use scale to zoom in on yourself, and then the proportion area would be used to move it around if needed.
Okay. Yeah. So, or position.
Or position.
Right. So yeah, and I would say like a nice medium long shot. If you did a real wide shot, I think you'll see the studio floor eventually. So something kind of like this positioning. All right, like a medium to medium wide shot. All right, I'm going to do that. And then the cropping, which actually I guess when you zoom in that way, you don't see it as much, but it will help to get this a little closer so that when we key it out, we're not going to take a chance of seeing any of that stuff. All right, so I'll just do that. Hold on one second. All right, so once we get this kind of in position, let's move it up a layer because we're going to have our picture put underneath of it. So I just took my video layer and I slid it up to V2. I'm going to import my background picture. All right, let's see what I have here. I have some nice stock imagery that we've recorded in various places. Let's see, where do I want to be today? How about the boardwalk? Be a nice place to be today, right?
You're right.
All right, and so now I'm going to take that picture and I'm going to drag it into this layer underneath of it and extend that over so that my durations are the same. All right, so why am I not seeing that picture behind it? Anybody have any clue?
Because you didn't key it out yet?
No. Turtle? Yeah, and so it's behind there, right? And I believe it's probably too small. So if you do get something like that when you import it, remember you can right-click it and do scale to frame size. Still not quite big enough, so I can go and I can scale this a little bit more.
Excuse me?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
All right, so now that we have our background picture in there, we have our video on top, now is for the real magic. So if you go to your effects tab and type in key, K-E-Y, all right, and then this category opens up under keying. We're going to take the one that says Ultra Key, and we're going to drag that onto our video. Everybody find Ultra Key and apply it to their video? No? Okay. Effects control, search for. So once our key effect is applied, now we're going to go to our effect control and look for that category of Ultra Key, right? So we see this here. And then we're going to take this eyedropper and we're going to click on the green. Okay. Why did mine not work? I'm glad all yours worked.
Oh, that looks so good. That looks so good, actually.
Yeah, or for me. See, your background doesn't work. So weird.
I miss it.
Okay, so what we can see here is that it's removed most of that green. You might have a little bit of kind of haziness to it.
exactly.
All right, so and what we can do is look at this output area to really see what's called your alpha channel is where that's being keyed out. If you change from composite to alpha, now we can kind of see a really stronger contrast, all right? And what we want to see is that your body is all going to be in white and that will be all in black. So to kind of clean that up, what I've found is that we go to this matte generation category and we increase this pedestal value like all the way, and maybe sometimes you have to decrease the shadow. All right, but now I can see that, you know, I'm all white and this is all black, right? Remember we talked about in the vocab, black conceals, white reveals. This is what they're talking about, right? Everything that's black is hidden, everything that's white is visible. So now I can change this back to my composite and look at that. Nice, seamless keying out. And you know, I might go back and go to the color tab and try to match my color. We get a little bit of kind of the light spillover, as they call sometimes, and casting of the color, and maybe I'd want to add a little more warmth or something to it, so I could go into some of these areas here and start adjusting. Oop, I'm on the wrong window here.
Wait, how do I change out?
Change out of what?
The black and white, whatever?
You change your output from channel to composite.
Oh.
Is there a reason why it gets so pixelated? Like, 'cause I don't know if that's like supposed to.
It could be just a rendering thing. Remember, if you do sequence render into out from the top, that should kind of make it look better.
Wait, where did it go? My phone. 'Cause I'm like.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good when it's a still image, but when it goes to start, it gets all, it starts getting all.
So that's the concept there, right? I'll help you individually with that, but you should be pretty much ready to export that, upload it to YouTube, and then you can put it in your portfolio. All right. So, and I think that's what I'd like to have you do today is send me a link to your portfolio again with your video in there on the About Me page.